Hi, this is Devin Capana. This is my final submission for CS 4800 Fall 2014. This is my Hockey Goal Light project. This is an example of what I based my project off of. On the top left you'll see what looks like an actual Hockey Goal Light. This is produced by Budweiser. It is only for sale in Canada, which leaves us American hockey fans out of luck. So I decided to build my own home version, and that's what mine looks like on the bottom right. And that's what the M card looks like on top. It's just the size of a standard SD memory card. And under that is what they call the breakout board, which allows you to access different pins for input or output of data. And that's all just set up through a 330 ohm resistor that's hooked to a green and red LED, and they both light up when a goal is scored. And here's just a fun chart that I put together. The green bars are the average hours I worked per week, and the red bars are the total hours per the project report. And reports 1 and 3 were 3 weeks, reports 2 and 4 were 2 weeks, and the final report was a 5-week duration. Progress report 4 was a particularly fun period. As you can see, the average hours per week was at its highest, and that was due to partially needing to get more work done on the project, and the other part was that I had a breakthrough day. I actually ended up working on the project for 8 hours that day, just throughout the day. And the breakthrough I had came at about 11 p.m. and I ended up working on it until about 4 a.m. And this was the first day that I was actually able to get the JSON data to the IMP and have it report back. Here we have the first slide of the requirements and milestones. The first bullet here of the hello world was fairly simple to do. Most of it was just kind of copy and paste code just to get used to the code. What it did was there was 2 different projects. The first one was just to set up a light to blink off and on by itself, and the second part of the hello world project was to control the light through a URL. So if you appended a 1 or 0 to the end of it, it would turn the LED on or off depending on if it was the 1 or the 0. The next bullet was to receive updates from an API, which I had originally decided to use the ESPN API. However, the ESPN API is no longer available to the public, which created kind of a freak out moment for me, because I was wondering how else I was going to get it done. So I spent some time researching some different APIs and which ones would be a good idea to use and which ones would actually be legal to use within their terms and conditions. And I came upon one called Sports Data, which is actually not free. It's expensive to use. However, I did receive a 3-month trial version, so I was able to use the trial version for this project. The only stipulation was I was only allowed to have 1,000 queries per month, which wasn't a huge issue at first. But toward the end of the project, I started querying more. So I wanted it to query every 30 seconds at first, but I chose 120 seconds to save the amount of queries that I could use. The IMP was fairly easy to connect. They have an app called Blink Up, and what that does is you put in your information for your Wi-Fi into your phone, and it will actually flash your screen, and it will embed that into the IMP so that you can connect over Wi-Fi. The data transfer was kind of an issue. That's what I spent most of the time on, was actually getting the JSON data to the IMP. A lot of my initial troubleshooting and building had just used a hard-coded JSON string. The next bullet we have here is receive score updates, and this is pretty much the core of my project. I was able to get it to correctly report score updates for a specified team. However, as you can see in the next bullet, there is a time constraint, and I decided that it wouldn't be feasible to create an interface as I was already spending more time than was required on this project. And I did report that in the last progress report, that what I had decided to do instead was to hard code what they call the game ID into the code and allow it to pull every 120 seconds to get the box score. And you can receive updates for whichever team you like, And what it does is check for the name of your team to determine if they are the home or the away team, and it will report accordingly. The last thing is to indicate when a goal is scored. The LED will light up, and it has successfully done that. Here's a video of the actual project in action. You can see in the background on the right, this is a box score from ESPN, Philadelphia Flyers on the left and the San Jose Sharks on the right, which is the team that I am polling for updates. As you can see at the beginning, they have 0 goals, and then you will see at the end of the video that they have 1 goal. You'll notice that the number changes to 1 before the LEDs light up. That is because I set it for 120 seconds. So I will fast forward a little bit of this video in between just so you won't get bored. And you'll notice that when these lights turn on the left, this is the server report from the electric imp. I have it set to log that the Sharks now have 1 goal, and set the LED to 1, and then it will set the LED to 0. And if the Sharks scored another goal in this game, it would say Sharks 2, Sharks 3, and so on and so forth. This is the end of my project submission. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and contact me, and I will get back to you. Thank you.